We are talking about search engines in research, and I found an article. It's a two-part article, so we're going to discuss search engines. And let's just go through this article, and there's more videos also I'm going to bring into this. So let's look at what this article is about. Search engines for tomorrow's scholars. The article was written in it's Journal of Web Librarianship, and its publication I think is 2008. Today, scholars face an outstanding array of choices when choosing search tools: Google Scholar, discipline-specific abstracts, and index databases, library discovery tools, and more recently, Microsoft's relaunch of their academic search tool, now dubbed Microsoft Academic Search. What are all these tools' strengths for the emerging needs of scholars? This two-part column will explore scholars' information activities, review how our scholar research interfaces, and it continues out. So when we look at this article, and you're going to read this on your own, hopefully, it gives a nice little introduction here, but then it goes into this section right here, and you definitely want to make sure you look at this. This is what they're going to be examining each one of the sections on. So they're going to take like Google Scholar and look at direct searching, chaining, browsing, probing, and assessing. So just looking at direct searching, they're calling that pursuing a well-defined goal, seeking to confirm facts, identifying gaps in knowledge, and answering specific questions. Chaining is the following of connections between documents forward and backwards in time. Hyperlinked bibliographies. Sometimes we forget that that's very important. Could you imagine articles where you could just click and go to the next article? News articles are starting to do more of that now. Browsing, open-ended exploration through a body of assembled information. Probing, exploring relevant information outside one's usual discipline. And these are the definitions and the terms that they use to analyze each one of these that you're going to see coming up. The first one is Google Scholar. So when you're reading this two-part article, you're going to see that they hit each one. Google Scholar was born in 2004 with its mission to be the one place to go for scholarly information across all languages and disciplines. Since then, its content and features have grown extensively and has been reviewed against several library databases. Scholar is based on a loose definition of scholarly articles, which include journal papers, conference papers, technical reports, or their drafts. So it's talking about Google Scholar and Google Scholar alone. So now we look at direct searching. It says Google Scholar has continued to rely on its systems-controlled approach to creating result sets. Although it may use word variants and alternative terms, these are hidden and it doesn't offer terminology support. It does provide multilingual spell checking, but while regular Google offers related searches, and often the first results might relate to terminology definitions. This is not true of Scholar. It talks about chaining, and you can read this on your own. Scholar does support cited reference searching. Remember, Eric and EBSCOhost does that to an extent with their Boolean phrases, but not as much as Google Scholar does. And the ability to search related articles. Probing, Google Scholar is a pretty good place for broad-based searching to find related topics or research outside one's usual domain. So just put that in the back of your head, that probing is good for Google Scholar in case someone ever says, I need you to do a research paper, and you say, well, I don't know what to do it on. You can go to Google Scholar and begin probing, meaning you find a topic that you like, and you can probe and find other topics outside that realm. Accessing, Scholar has opened up the needs of libraries and scholars in a critical way, allowing users to set their Scholar preferences so that they link, resolver links are displayed. Google Scholar results contain a surprising number of full-text links to open access or preprint materials, requiring no authentication. On the downside, however, using Google Scholar does do much to reveal connections between documents, authors, or concepts, nor does it make it easy to do things with sets of results, such as printing selected articles. This is a new thing that people are starting to do with more of the databases, and that's monitoring. You can do this with Eric and EBSCOhost, but monitoring allows you to create email alerts whenever new articles are written about Google Scholar. So right now I'm going to take you to a video link of Google Scholar.
Google Scholar builds upon the functionality of the Google search engine to bring you a discovery tool for scholarly material. It combines information from a number of scholarly databases and consolidates it into a single, easy search. While it looks and functions like Google Web Search, there are a couple of key differences that are worth noting. Unlike Google Web Search, Google Scholar sports an advanced search feature that more closely mirrors a library database. This feature allows you to quickly limit results in a number of ways, such as to a specific author, publication, or date range. To access the advanced search feature, click on the arrow at the end of the search box and choose the search method that you desire. It's worth noting that some of the options mirror the Boolean logic that you'd find in library databases. Note that with all of the words equates to an and, with at least one of the words is an or, and without the words is equivalent to a not. Typing a phrase in the with the exact phrase box is the same as putting quotes around your search terms. For more information on using Boolean terms or other tips in your searches, please contact a librarian. By default, the Google Scholar results page lists results based on relevance. You can change the order of your results or further refine your search using the options on the left side of the screen. Result entries contain the information that is required to cite the article, including the title of the article, the author or authors, the journal or book title, publication date, and access information. At the bottom of the entry, you'll find the Cited By feature. Clicking it will take you to related articles which have cited this work. To the right of the entry, you'll find information regarding how to access the full text of the article. Note, however, that if accessing it from off-campus, your library preferences must be set up in order to receive the EMU Find Text Plus option and be connected to EMU's holdings. The easiest way to do this is to access Google Scholar from the library's databases page. Alternately, you can select Settings from the Google Scholar homepage, then Library Links. Type Eastern Michigan University into the search box and make sure to check the box in front of Eastern Michigan University, Full Text at EMU Find Text Plus. For further information or additional tips on using Google Scholar, click the About Google Scholar link at the bottom of the page or contact a librarian.
So that was an interesting video on Google Scholar. Now the article looks at Microsoft Academic Search. It says that Microsoft Academic Search was an initial foray into academic searching with Live Academic 2006. The attempt ended in 2008, but a new product, Microsoft Academic Search, emerged in November of 2009. It's a product originally indexed only computer science literature, but has since expanded to numerous natural and life science domains. It includes more than 27 million publications as of 2011 and has been reviewed in choice. So let's look at it in the categories that it reviewed Google search engine. The direct searching. Academic Search provides some nice features in this area if users don't get too specific with the initial search. As users type, it suggests search terms for which it has indexed. Keywords such as human-computer interaction. Such keywords produce a results screen with many supports for understanding the research surrounding the concept. But if the user strays out of the keyword index, there doesn't seem to be spell checking options or alternative searches. There did not appear to be any way to expand the search into other search engines or tools. The advanced search is similar to that of Google Scholar with options for author. They recommend searching on Bill Gates, conference, journal, organization, year, and DOI. There's a structured query language available as well. Chaining. Academic Search has numerous supports for chaining, including interactive visualizations such as citation graph, co-author graph, and a global academic map. It also lists the number of citations referred in each publication. So it looks like chaining is better with this search engine. Browsing. One of the Academic Search's two opening screens, they are randomly displayed, features the list of domains it currently covers. Clicking on a domain allows users to browse the most productive authors, publications, conference journals, etc. Users can also browse the authors whose publications have been viewed most. The academic map visualization allows you to browse authors and institutions on an interactive world map. So like they have more visuals. Probing. Because it contains a limited number of domains, Academic Search is useful for probing in specific subject areas only. However, it shows great promise in this area because of the overview screens. accessing. Academic Search contains similar links to full text as Google Scholar, but many display only on the item record screen, not in the results screen. The tool also lacks the Library Links program. Assessing. Microsoft Academic Search contains several supports for this activity. Journal pages show a publication history graph, keywords. Users can get an RSS feed. So when you look at this breakdown right here, it seems that the Microsoft tool has better visuals and better chaining and better graphics. That's also something that many people, researchers do, is they want to see how many times their name has been cited by other authors, and they pull up this tool right here. However, through this review here, we see that a major weakness is they do not have a large database of full-text articles. Summary: Microsoft Academic Search is not yet a strong competitor with Google Scholar in terms of market share. But with the exceptions of Library Link, its interface seems to be a stronger contender when considering Scholar's needs. So Microsoft Academic Search has a better visual appeal, and it has more tools to play with and more bells and whistles. But Google Scholar clearly has a larger database. That concludes the first section of this article. It's a two-part article. I'm going to show you now a video on the Microsoft Academic Search.
Hi, this is Emily Hurst, and today we're going to take a look at Microsoft Academic Search. One of the first things I wanted to point out for those of you that may not have used Academic Search before is that directly below the search box we can see the number of publications and the number of authors being indexed by this search engine. Additionally, we can see updates that have occurred over the past week, so we know that information is staying current and that things are being updated. Directly below you'll see the domain list, and this is a great way to get started if you know a specific domain that you want to go into to search. Additionally, you can hover over these topics to see the number of publications that are within a specific topic. I'm going to navigate to these buttons so that we can go over and see some of the visualization features that Microsoft Academic Search offers. And here we can see that there are a number of visualization features, including the academic map and the co-author charts and co-author path. These can really help us have a visual look at the way academic research is being done and might lead us in new directions for our research. We will look at the co-author graph later on in this demonstration. For now, let's go ahead and start our search, and we're going to be looking for Donald Lindberg. And as you can see, you already have results that come back, and they're very straightforward results list. You have 156 publications that feature Dr. Lindberg as an author. On the left-hand side, you can see the different topics that these publications may be in. If you wanted to drill down more specifically, you could use those options. And just to keep in mind, sometimes people have the same names, so sometimes we're getting different authors that are not who we're looking for. And Microsoft Academic Search has a cool tool there at the top, the yellow box, will actually help us determine which Donald Lindberg we were looking for. And you can kind of sort through and see the different authors are indexed, and maybe that they are actually different people with the same name. I've played with this a bit, and I know that this is the record that I want to look at today. It's the last one on the list, Donald A.B. Lindberg at the National Institutes of Health. And this is just to show what information you can get on a specific author within Microsoft Academic Search. You can see that he has information in at least 12 publications. He has 789 citations. And you have some information about publishing through the G&H index. You also have some information on his interests, as well as his collaborators, mentioning their 25 different co-authors from 1980 to 2000. He's also been cited by 1,454 authors according to Microsoft Academic Search. Of course, we can't always catch everything, but these are the ones that are indexed and available here for us today. Additionally, you can navigate through this chart if you were interested in a certain time period. You can actually go back and see citations for that year or publications where materials may have been published. And I also wanted to point out right here at the top you can see embed and subscribe links. If this was an author that you wanted to provide information about, or if this was you, you could use the embed link to get the code if you wanted to put your publication information from Microsoft Academic Search on your website. You can also subscribe so that you'll receive any updates that may occur through the RSS link there. On the left-hand side, I wanted to just point out our co-author area. The co-author at the top, we have Elizabeth Humphreys, and she is cited with Dr. Lindberg 5 times, and then the other authors only 1 time. A little further below, we have information so that we can see conferences where Dr. Lindberg may have presented, as well as journals that he is published in. And finally, if we wanted to dig a little deeper, we can use keywords to help us see some of the topics that he is published on or that he may be interested in. Look at some of the visualization tools in Microsoft Academic Search. I'm going to click on co-author area. And here again we have a very linear look at co-authors, but I'm going to use this button to view the co-author graph. And once we do that, we get a sort of spider web look at a author, Dr. Lindberg of course being at the center, and the other authors surrounding him. We can look at these little connection wires, and we can see a number of publications that Dr. Lindberg may have had with this connection. Additionally, we can see connections between co-authors as well. So it's a nice way to look at these connections in interests and in publication, as well as in co-authoring. I'm going to go ahead and look at some of the other options here. I'm going to look at the citation graph. And this will be a way for us to look at Dr. Lindberg and then options for number of times that a person has cited back to Dr. Lindberg. So it's a great way to see people that are referencing Dr. Lindberg or Dr. Lindberg's publications and make connections there relating to research topics that may be of interest for individuals. And finally, we can look at the co-author path, and this again is just a nice way to look at the way co-authors are connected to one another. And we can see how Dr. Lindberg may be related to this gentleman here on the right through additional connections and co-authoring. It's a great way, again, to go back and visually see the history of publication and find experts in a field. And again, Microsoft Academic Search, it's available for free, and it's one of our academic search engines that I encourage you to take a look at. Thank you.
In part 2 of the article, it talks about Scopus. Scopus, it says, was chosen for this column because it was developed with the ways in which researchers actually use information in mind rather than the way that system developers and librarians think they should use information. When developing Scopus, Elsevier engaged the usability testing with development partners. Now, you might wonder, what is Scopus? I'm going to add a tutorial video on after this, just like I did the rest of them, showing you just basically ways to use Scopus. But if you ever want to use Scopus, believe it or not, if you open up, I'm going to open up my browser here, and you open up Mississippi State University's website. Once again, let me just slide what you're seeing. If you open up Mississippi State's website and you click on libraries, just like we do for ERIC or EBSCOhost, and you click on libraries, and then if you click on the databases right here, and then if you go to S, scroll down, you will see Scopus is right here. And you can access Scopus by clicking on it, and it's free for you. because you're a Mississippi State University student. So let me pull this back up. Scopus, when it looks at the direct searching, Scopus is set by default to require minimal effort from the user. One can quickly type in terms and go. Spell checking will recommend ways to fix this, although Scopus help screen suggests users type in terms they would use when talking naturally with colleagues. This tactic may be disappointing. So as we scroll down, chaining. Scopus was built around the concept of chaining. So Scopus is highly engineered for chaining. There are numerous ways to take advantage of connections among documents, authors, and publications. Now remember, chaining is going from one to the other without having to go back and search. You can just keep clicking and clicking and go deeper into each article. Browsing. Scopus offers the ability to browse publications alphabetically, including journals and conference proceedings. Author overview pages provide a different entry point in the literature. Probing. Scopus supports broad-based searching and includes some non-science publications. The user can limit to various subject areas. Accessing. Like most databases sold to libraries, Scopus offers full-text linking to library content through third-party link resolver software. Scopus also offers links provided by Crossref and links created by Scopus to articles. Gathering organization. Scopus offers the ability to select items across searches and add them to lists. Users who log in can keep multiple lists. So that's good. That's something that's very good. You can keep different lists as you log in. You can personalize your searches. Scopus does a very good job making the topic, timeliness, and availability of the documents obvious. It also has several tools that help scholars access content. Monitoring. Creating an account with Scopus allows users to save searches, alerts, including author and documents list. Alerts are delivered via email or RSS feeds. Although at one time Scopus provided distilled, authoritative, and up-to-date information for researchers on scientific, technical, and medical topics, through SciTopics, they have discontinued this service. So Scopus is another tool that you can use, but you're seeing something very interesting about all these things. It should make you very excited if you like reading. If you use all of these different browsers at one time when you're doing that, you can kind of get an information overload. Like if I want a more visual concept of where I'm going with my research and get some better maps, then I'm probably going to run over to Microsoft Academics Exchange. If I'm wanting a more in-depth database that's kind of broad and hits a lot of those fringe areas, I may want to go to Google. But if I also want to hit some very specific research and with some extreme chaining, then I'm going to swing over to Scopus. But also I can add all these RSS feeds and subscribe, and I can get all these updates constantly. That it may take a couple of days to get all this set up and where you want to do it. But if you're doing research on corporal punishment, you could be getting emails saying, hey, we have an RSS feed alert, new articles popped up on Google, new article here, and you can really stay on top of all of this. So I'm going to show you now a video tutorial on how to use Scopus, but also remember it's on our website.
In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a big multidisciplinary database, which means multidisciplinary means that it covers a big range of topics, not just the sciences, for example. So, of course, we are on the library's website going to click Article Databases, and in the Select Database by Title menu, I'm going to click S. The title of the database we're looking at is called Scopus, S-C-O-P-U-S, and then I'll just scroll through this long list and find it. This isn't an entirely full-text database. A lot of the stuff is just going to be abstracts only, so just those brief descriptions of articles. But don't worry, because it's still a really good database, and we can often borrow the stuff that's referred to in this database from other libraries for free. Well, I mean, for you it's free. Anyway, I've done my good old reliable search term here. The default is that it will search in the article title, the abstract, and the keywords that they give to articles, the database people. I've also selected my standard date range because I'm predictable like that. And these are the other subject areas right here that this database covers. So I mentioned that it covers the sciences, life science, health science, physical science. It also covers the other kind of science, social sciences, and the arts and humanities. Anyway, let's continue searching. So we've got 19 documents, and that can mean, well, I'll show you the different document types. That can mean stuff like articles, conference papers, short surveys, conference reviews, yada, yada, yada. There are many document types, but you guys already know that. So anyway, 19 is a pretty good round number. Not exactly round, but I'm willing to look at 19 titles and see if anything strikes me as awesome. So from here, I'm going to be the first to admit that this is kind of a busy looking database, but it's actually really, really flexible and good. It's only busy because they give you lots of options. So how's that for a silver lining? I just clicked on a title of an article, and here's the abstract, but the thing that you are going to be most interested in here is the download PDF. So here's the trick with this database. I'm going to click the download PDF button, link, sorry, and it will open another window. It will allow me to create an article title here, say where I want to download it to. Here's the trick. You must check this little box to download the abstract if the full text isn't available, and we won't know until we click begin download. So that's where it's kind of a gamble. A lot of this stuff is available in full text, maybe not from this database, but linked to other databases from here. Some of it isn't. So I click my download, and oh, sadness, it's the abstract only. So I can read the abstract, and now I have a PDF of it, but here is the abstract, right? But all is not lost. Remember what I said about linking to other databases? If you click this button here, or if you're in the big results list with all 19 results, there are a bunch of SFX buttons, see? Here and here and here. Every single article has one. So if I click that button, it will tell me whether full text is available or not. And this is sort of a sad case where it's not available. But on the upside, you can get it through interlibrary loan. Unless it's some like totally obscure, rare article, which I am kind of doubting in this case because it's from a pretty well-known publication. It's called The Chemical Engineer. Anyway, if you click interlibrary loan, you can order this article from another library. And all you do, I'll show you how to do this in another tutorial, but here's the quick and dirty version of what interlibrary loan is. So you can borrow items from other libraries by submitting an online request, and you have to fill out citation information like the name of the article, the author's name, the title of the journal, the date it was published, and that's it. The great thing about information now is that it's most often available digitally. So even if we don't have an electronic copy, somebody is pretty much bound to have an electronic copy. And the turnaround time for interlibrary loan is usually pretty quick for those things. Unless it's a physical item, then it can take any number of days. But if there's some library who has an electronic version of it, somebody who does have a PDF, they can just turn this request around probably within the same day most of the time. Anyway, that's interlibrary loan, and it's really great. And I'll show you how to do that in another tutorial. So how is that for a real life example? Something where I can't get a PDF when I want it. Let's see if this one will give me a PDF, just so you see what it looks like. Begin download. Oh, and the database remembers stuff for you. Oh no, this one's abstract only too. Okay, I swear some of these are available in full text. Take my word for it. One of the times that you click download PDF, you'll actually get a full text article. Not always, clearly, but sometimes. Anyway, that's it. Scopus, huge, pretty much science-related database, but multidisciplinary as well. Yeah.
The final one is the EBSCO Discovery Service. And I'm going to show you a video as well on EBSCO Discovery Service so that you can see how you'll use that. Like Scopus, EDS offers good spell checking for English language terms, and you can read these on your own. But let's get to the chaining. Although some EBSCO databases allow citation searching, this feature is not yet implemented in EDS. Authors are hyperlinked, and if clicked on, a search is performed using the exact spelling given. So of all of the search engines, this one is the one that doesn't do a good job on chaining. Browsing, like Scopus, EDS allows a rough approximation of browsing, so it's just like Scopus on that area. Probing, EDS supports very broad-based searching, although specific content depends on sustainability of the library's other subscriptions. Accessing, gathering, and assessing and monitoring. Summary analysis. And let's look at the final summary of all of this right here. Scopus seems to have succeeded in their mission to create an effective interface for scholars to navigate the research landscape. Only in the area of translating does it show a significant weakness against Microsoft Academic Search. EBSCO Discovery Service, which was created to provide a single customizable entry point to a library's collections, was not specifically designed to be an interface for scholars, yet it does contain some good supports for scholars' work. What would a scholarly search tool look like? And this right here gives you a suggestion of the best way, and it's kind of saying, hey, if you're going to do a scholarly search one, let's do it like this. So far, the author has skirted the issue of cost. This is a big point right here. Some features helpful to successful execution of chaining, such as normalization of authors, take development time and data cleanup. So cost is going to be a big issue. The ideal scholarly system would provide the type of gathering, organizing, and monitoring tools EBSCO and Scopus already have. It is curious that Google and Microsoft provide no facility for gathering and organizing items and limited support for monitoring, as they both have existing robust user account systems. The ideal system would also offer browsing capabilities not currently found in the Review Scholarly search tools. So you kind of see what they're saying is it'd be kind of cool if they took Scopus and EBSCOhost and combined it with Google and got those tools there. So this is a really good article with that. And I am going to put a video, I'll put a video on after this. I can do a video on EBSCO Discovery Service, but there's a better video out there, and it's a long video. And you do not have to watch it at all. But it's this guy showing you how to use the Google Scholar software. That is an optional video. It'll be at the end of this, and it's going to be right after this section right here. But if you want to watch it, it's really good. He's going to walk you through how to do all these Google searches and all those elements as well. There is two other things I want to talk about real quick, and that deals with the research. So I'm going to add a video at the very end of here. It'll be a supplemental video. It's going to be very lengthy. I may just put it as a YouTube link, but it's going to be a supplemental video. But I want to also show you two videos, and I'll put those at the end right now. But I want to talk to you about two elements, and that's called EndNotes and Zotero. EndNotes and Zotero are software that will help you with your Google searches and your EBSCOhost and all those elements. Let me pull up a PowerPoint. And this is another PDF I'm going to put up there about Zotero, but I'm going to show you some videos. And what Zotero is Zotero and EndNotes are bibliography sources for you. And what they'll do is whenever you're gathering all your information, you can put those into a file and allow them to be seen and stored on your computer. So I'm just going to show you some videos real quick on using EndNotes and using Zotero. Now, if you're kind of confused what EndNotes is and what Zotero is, they are software that you can put on your computer that will allow you to source all this information you're getting from these websites. So just watch these videos on Zotero and EndNotes, and then I'm going to do a wrap-up session after that.
How to use EndNote in 7 minutes. This video will give you a very fast start on using EndNote. It will show you 1. 2 ways to import a reference from an online database using PubMed as an example. 2. How to create a custom group and add references to it. 3. How to use Find Full Text to try to download PDFs for references. 4. How to insert a reference in a Word document. 5. How to format the bibliography using the APA style as an example. 6. How to add page numbers to a citation. The first method of importing is online search. In EndNote, click the Online Search Mode button. It will be the second mode button. Select the online database you want to search. There are thousands more available. These are just the popular ones. Build your search. Click the Search button to perform the search. Click the OK button. Select the references you want in the list. Click the Copy to Local Library button. Click the Local Library Mode button to see the contents of your EndNote library. It will be the first mode button. The references you just copied are shown in the temporary Copied References group. To create a permanent group for your references, select Create Group from the Groups menu. Enter the name of your group and press Enter. Select the references to add to the new group and drag them into the group. Another method of importing references is direct export. I am going to import some references from PubMed as an example, but this method can be used with many other online databases. I am using Firefox for this example because it supports direct export on both the Windows and Macintosh platforms. Direct export will also work with Internet Explorer. Perform your search of the online database in your browser. Select the references you want to import. For PubMed, mark the references to select them. Click the Send To link. Then select Citation Manager. Different databases will have different ways of selecting references and preparing them for export. This link may be called different things by different data providers. It may be a large button, or possibly a hyperlink in very small text. It may be called different names, such as Direct Export or Export to Citation Manager. Look for something that talks about saving, exporting, or importing references. If offered a choice of formats, select the one that mentions EndNote or RIS. For PubMed, selecting Citation Manager will save it in the correct format for direct export. Click Create File. Firefox will ask if you want to open the file and what program you want to open it with. Select EndNote. Click the OK button. Click the OK button. If the database is set up for direct export, the references will import right into EndNote. The new references are shown in the Imported References temporary group. Drag the new references to the permanent group they should belong to. To have EndNote try to find the PDFs for references, select the references, then click the Find Full Text button. Click the OK button. If EndNote is able to find the PDFs, you will see a paperclip icon appear by the references. After a reference is in the EndNote library, it can be added to a Word document. In Word, click where you want to put an EndNote citation. Then click the Go to EndNote button. Select the reference or references you want to insert. Click the Insert Citation button. The reference is inserted into your paper and instantly formatted. To change the style, select the tiny arrow in the bottom right corner of the bibliography group. Select the style from the list of favorites. If your favorite style is not showing, you can use the Browse button to see more styles. Click the OK button. To add page numbers to a citation, click on the citation. Then click the Edit and Manage Citations button. Add page numbers to the Pages field, then click the OK button. You now know 2 ways to import references, one way to create a custom group, one way to put a reference in a Word document, and one way to add page numbers. EndNote can do a lot more than this. If you would like to learn more, we have video tutorials and full class recordings available on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/endnotetraining. You can also register for free online classes on our training calendar at endnote.com/training/calendar.
Hi everyone. In this section of the citation management tutorial, we're going to be talking about how to manage your citations in Zotero. This is meant to be a crash course or an overview. It's not meant to get into all of the features and functions of the program. The best way to see if this is something that's going to work for you is to really sit for about an hour or so, play around with it, and get comfortable with it. Zotero is a program that lets you manage all of the citations that you have for your research materials, and it's available in 2 different versions. To get the full functionality, I recommend that you use both of those versions so that you can store your collections both online and then on your own computer, or in fact as many computers as you use. Zotero is a program that allows you to collect the information that you need about each of the resources you use, to organize those resources into collections that make sense to you, to format citations and create bibliographies, and then to sync everything between your online account and any of the computers that you have it installed on. The first thing you want to do to get started on Zotero is to go to zotero.org and register for your free account by clicking on Register in the upper right-hand corner. In order to get the full functionality, like I said, you want to have your online account, which lets you access your collections of citations from anywhere that you have the internet, but you also want to have the piece that lives on your computer. And so to do that, after you've registered for your free account, you want to click on Download Now, and you have 2 different options. You have Zotero for Firefox, which is an add-on that lives in your Firefox browser, and then you have Zotero Standalone, and this works with Firefox, Chrome, and Safari, but it looks a little bit different, and it opens up in a separate application than your browser. I'm going to be working with Zotero for Firefox, so it'll look just a little bit different for any of you who uses the standalone version. Once you've downloaded and installed this version, either version of Firefox on your computer, you're going to see this Zotero logo down in the bottom right-hand corner of your browser pane. When you click on this logo, it opens the Zotero pane, and this is the pane that lets you see all of the items in your collection. You can add, organize, and edit citations from both your online account and from your Zotero browser version, but you can only create bibliographies and format citations from this browser version, but we're going to talk more about that in just a little bit. Before you start adding citations to your new Zotero library, we need to do a little housekeeping first. So with the pane open, click on the gear icon and then select Preferences. Under General, you want to make sure that all of the miscellaneous and group boxes are checked. And under Sync, you want to add your username and password that you just created with your online account, and you want to make sure that this box, Sync Automatically, is checked. This makes sure that all of your accounts sync when you add new resources to any of your Zotero accounts. There are a number of different ways to import your citations into your Zotero library, and many times you can do it right from your browser. When Zotero recognizes something that it can import, you'll see an icon in the address bar. Just a note for those of you who are using the standalone version, it's going to be an icon that's to the left of your address bar. So for this New York Times article, you can see a newspaper icon here. And all you have to do is click on the icon to import the citation. If you look down at the right-hand side, you can see a little box that pops up that tells you that it's saving to your Zotero account. And to check on that, click on the Zotero icon down here, which opens your Zotero pane, and you can see this is the information that it imported. has it listed by title, but over here on the right, you can see all of the information that it picked up. So you have all of the bibliographic data that you need to ultimately create a citation. You also have the URL if you ever need to get back to this article. In this section, you can also add notes. You can add tags. Sometimes tags are imported, and you can either keep them or delete them. Or you can link this article to another related article in your Zotero library. And when the arrow is spinning, you can see that it's syncing. You can also import items to Zotero right from the UNC Library catalog. If you click on the record for a book that you want to import the information, you'll see up here in the address bar that the icon has changed and now it's a book. Zotero is recognizing that this is bibliographic data from a book. And so if you click on that, again, it saves the item, lets you know down in the right-hand corner. And to check, you can open your Zotero account, and there it is. All of the data that you need to create a citation, and you can do the same additions over here. You can also import Zotero items from a lot of the library databases that you're going to be using to do your research. So we're in Communication and Mass Media Complete. I see an article that I want to save and create a citation for. And we learned that one way you can do it over here is to click on Cite and you can copy and paste. But if you want to import it directly into Zotero, click on the icon up here. It looks like a sheet of paper. And it saves it right to your Zotero account. So now we have 3 items in our Zotero library. There are a few other ways that you can add items to your Zotero library, and let's open this up a little bit so we can see the whole thing. If you look up here at this toolbar and you click on the green button, you can add an item manually. So it gives you some initial options as to what kind of resource it is, but if it's the resource that you're importing isn't any of these, look down at More and you have all of these options. It creates the item and you simply have to fill in the information. You can also add an item based on the web page that you're on. Basically what this does is it saves the URL for you. It pulls out some other information like maybe the title. Sometimes it'll give you the date or the author's name if there is one. And it'll tell you that it's a web page and you simply have to fill in the rest of the information yourself. If you click on the wand icon, you can add an item by the ISBN, the DOI, the ISSN, or the PubMed ID. That's a really fast and easy way to do it. Another really quick and easy way that you can add resources to your Zotero library is if you have them saved as PDFs on your desktop. All you need to do is click on the PDF and drag it into the Zotero pane and drop it there, and it will import the PDF file. And we can do that with a few of these. These are all PDFs that I've downloaded from Communication and Mass Media Complete. And so now we have the PDFs and we can open them right from Zotero. They are saved as files in your account. But you can see if you look over here that we don't have any bibliographic data for any of them. So no title, no author, any of that. And there are a couple of different ways that you can handle this. The easiest, although it doesn't work all the time, it's always worth trying, is to right-click on the PDF title and come down here to Retrieve Metadata for PDF. And what this is going to do is it tells Zotero to try to look up what that information is. So click on Retrieve Metadata. It usually takes no more than a few seconds. And unfortunately for this PDF, which is a SWOT analysis, Zotero couldn't find any matching references. So we're going to have to import that one manually. And to do that, again, you right-click on it and come down here to Create Parent Item for the document. And so what that does, you see this arrow that's been created over here. If you click on that, here's the original PDF that we imported. And here's a section now where we can type in the information that we need to save it and to format a citation later. So let's try one of these other PDFs. I'm going to right-click on this one and come down to Retrieve Metadata for PDF. And it searched and it found. So if you look over here, it found all of the information, title, authors, everything that you need to be able to create a citation for it. So once you have all of these resources in your Zotero library, there are a number of different ways to organize them. As I mentioned before, you can tag them, and the tags will usually show up down here on the bottom left-hand side of your Zotero pane. If you look up here on the left-hand side and click on My Library, this shows everything that you've imported. But you can also create subfolders and organize different sections of resources. And to do that, all you need to do is right-click on My Library, click on New Collection, and it lets you name the folder. You can rename the folder if you want to later. And so all you need to do is drag items from your library into that folder. And to see what's in the folder, click on it and it shows you the items that you have. That doesn't remove items from this section, from this folder. You can have items in as many folders or subfolders as you want to. To create a subfolder, you right-click on your folder, click on New Subcollection, and you can create as many subcollections as you want to as well. The last feature I want to go over with Zotero is how to format citations and create bibliographies. Remember, you can only do this from the browser-based version, the version that you downloaded. You can't do this from your online version. To create a single citation from an item in your Zotero library, all you have to do is right-click on that item and come down to Create Bibliography from Selected Item. You can choose the citation style that you prefer to use, have this as set as bibliography, and what I usually do is copy to clipboard, and that allows me to simply paste the citation into a document that I'm using, and click OK. So from here, we can open a document and paste our citation. To create a bibliography using multiple resources in your Zotero library, all you need to do is choose which folder that you want to create a bibliography of, right-click on it, come down to Create Bibliography from Collection, go through the same steps, choose your citation style, make sure that this is set to bibliography, and copy to clipboard, click OK, and you can open a document and paste it in. Always make sure that you go over your bibliography or your citation after it's been created and double check to make sure that it's formatted correctly and that there's not information missing. If there is missing information, or if you notice that it doesn't quite look right, chances are that it comes from how the information was entered and interpreted by Zotero. So for a citation that doesn't look right, go back and find the item and go over and see that all of the information here looks correct. This was a quick overview of some of the main features of Zotero. If you have any questions, you can always check the Zotero documentation online. It does a really great job of breaking down all of the features of Zotero and the steps that you need to take to use them. They also have a really robust support forum if you ever need to troubleshoot. At UNC Libraries, we also have an online guide to help you use Zotero. If you go to the UNC Library homepage, click on Writing and Citing, and then Zotero, this is a librarian-created guide that walks you through some of the basic and more advanced features that Zotero has to offer. Also available through UNC Libraries is a book that actually I found very helpful called Zotero, A Guide for Librarians, Researchers, and Educators. And finally, You can always get in touch with us at the Park Library if you have any questions about formatting citations or about using Zotero. You can email us or chat us, give us a call, or drop by.
All right, so now you have a better picture of what EndNotes and Zotero is. So when you're hitting all these search engines and you're gathering all this data, in the old days, I had a professor tell me that he used to write all of his references on note cards and he would put them all in a box. And he said that as he was working on his master's degree, he started focusing on just one topic. And when he got to his PhD program, he had done so much research on that one major topic. He said every time he was in class, he would say, hey, can I, and they'd say, everybody do a research paper. And he said, well, can I do a research paper on, I don't know, the same topic he wanted to do all his research papers on. And what he was doing was creating note cards of all the research articles he read, and then by the time he got to his dissertation, he had all of his sources for his dissertation. Now, the note card method is kind of out, and we're not doing those anymore. But what we're doing is the Zotero and the EndNotes. You see kind of Zotero and EndNotes are both competing for the same market share. Zotero is free, and you can download it free off their website. Just go to Zotero or Google search Zotero and you'll find it. EndNotes, in my personal opinion, is better with just the incorporating all the sites into your articles. What you can actually do in EndNotes is you can use Microsoft Word and pull those into your articles. It works very well if you really get it going, and you saw that in the video. One thing, that EndNotes is expensive. It's very expensive, but you can buy a one-time license fee for over $100 into the $200 range. But what I would like to encourage all of you to do, and I don't get anything out of this, but look at, before you leave graduate school and you know you're going to need EndNotes sometime in your life, the Mississippi State University Libraries actually offers EndNotes at a discounted rate. It says, as part of our site license, EndNote will be made available to all MSU faculty, staff, and students at a subsidized price. EndNotes version X7 will be sold to faculty and staff for $75 and to MSU students for $50. Departmental transfers can be arranged. So you actually can get EndNotes for $50 on this website right here. So if I was going to go for my PhD, or if I was going to do a lot of research grants in a central office setting, then buy this before you leave Mississippi State University. You do not need that for this class. So what this homework assignment has done is, what this lecture has done is it's looked at web servers and search engines. And what I want everyone to do is I want you, for homework, since we're moving towards the end of the semester and you've watched this entire video, and I'd like to thank everybody who watched the last week's video and got the extra credit that was embedded in it. I know there was no homework assignment for the last week's, so I had an extra credit embedded, and some of y'all watched the video and got the extra credit, and that was good. So congratulations on that. The homework assignment for this class will be to play around with Zotero. Zotero is free, so I want you to play around with Zotero. And I want you to take screenshots of you playing around with Zotero and put those in a Word document and send those to me with a narrative of how was it? Was Zotero fun? Did you enjoy it? And those elements. So just play around with Zotero. Put it in some Microsoft Word documents. Play around. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. Play around with Zotero and then do some screenshots. Put in Microsoft Word of you playing around with Zotero. And then make narratives under your Zotero, like say in this screenshot I was doing this, and in this screenshot I was doing that. And then at the end of that, write a narrative of how you felt about Zotero. Did it work? Was the learning curve good? Did you learn a lot from that? So it's really easy. You just go to Zotero and download it, and that'll be easy. If you don't want to download a computer, if the computer's too slow, you can always put on a computer work, or you can put a computer library. You can play around with Zotero, but Zotero is free. I hope this lecture was fun. If you don't know how to do screenshots, you hit print screen and you can capture those, and you can Control V in a Microsoft Word document. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Hope you had a good day. Thank you.